welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing an updated favorite fragrances of all time 2025 edition. I guess it's really not like an of all time because like my list does change every year. But like whatever, like who cares? These are just like my absolute favorite fragrances at the moment, but I really am just very content with this list, I feel like. And I probably am gonna be saying a similar thing every year, but I really do just love all of these fragrances so much, and they're all gonna be a staple in my collection for many years to come. Before we get started, if you haven't yet subscribed, please make sure to do so. And as always, if you're coming back, thank you so much for being here and supporting me. But without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. So as always, I'm gonna start with 5 honorable mentions. These aren't gonna be in any particular order, so let's just get these out of the way. And I seriously am so in love with these 5 fragrances. They just like barely missed the top 5, but they like actually are such amazing fragrances that I wear all the time. But the first honorable mention is going to be the Love Notes Pink Woods by Ariana Grande. And so I actually didn't think that I would end up loving this fragrance as much as I did. I think when I first smelled Pink Woods, it just came off like kind of like sweet and floral, and I was disappointed at the time that I wasn't smelling that much cotton candy. But now that I've really gotten to wear it, please keep in mind that this is a very large bottle of perfume. Like this is, I'm not sure how many fluid ounces. I think it's like over 4. I think it's like 4.25 fluid ounces, which is a lot of perfume, and I have honestly gone through a decent amount of it. I reach for this fragrance so much. It is just such a beautiful, simple, clean floral, but it has such beautiful sweet elements that I feel like just really elevate the fragrance and make it smell so beautifully feminine. It's definitely not as candy sweet and I guess young as the other Ariana Grande fragrances. Like I honestly feel like this smells like an entirely different perfume, and it just makes you feel really sophisticated. Definitely a fragrance that smells more expensive than it actually is. I've seen a lot of people compare it to Bal de Frit. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's the very popular perfume by Byredo, which is hundreds of dollars more expensive. And I've only smelled that fragrance once at a Nordstrom, so I can't tell you definitively. They were definitely quite similar. I think this one has a more prominent lotus note in particular, as well as it has like more of a sweetness from the cotton candy. But nonetheless, this is such a beautiful fragrance that is now one of my favorites, so close to being like a top 5. Next honorable mention is one that I talk about a lot. This is Versace's Dylan Purple Parfum, and this is just such a beautiful, fruity, woody, kind of fresh scent that I reach for so much. Like literally, this is my go-to fragrance when it comes to hotter, warmer weather because it just has such a lovely freshness to it. It has like this kind of sweetness from, I don't even know what, I think it's from like the ambroxan as well as some of the citruses that just totally completes the gourmand lover within me. But at the same time, it's really beautifully clean and fresh. It has like this amazing shampoo-y vibe. Yeah, Dylan Purple is just such a soft, inoffensive, really easy to be around fragrance. Like this is just really comforting to me, and it's just so clean and such like a no-brainer. Like when I don't know what to wear, like I just reach for this one. Next honorable mention is gonna be I Don't Need a Prince by My Side to Be a Princess by Kilian. This was actually in my top 5 last year, and I don't love this fragrance any less. I think it's just that there are now fragrances that I love even more. I do just adore this fragrance. It's so delicious. It feels really simple, but also like every time I smell this, there's just something so special about this. Like I don't typically get this amazing like marshmallowy matcha kind of scent in a perfume. It's really beautiful and delicious, and it's also sophisticated. It has like a spice from the ginger note. This is just a really beautifully done fragrance that I adore. Next honorable mention is gonna be Black Opium's Over Red. And I don't think I've mentioned this perfume recently, but I am actually shocked by how much I love this fragrance. So I actually only decided to get this because a little bit ago Ulta was having a like flash sale, and so this fragrance was 50% off, so I just decided to grab it because the reviews were good. I did smell it previously in a Sephora, but it was like a long time ago. It was when the fragrance was like just released, and I think at the time when I sprayed it on the test strip, I didn't give it enough time to dry down, and to me it just smelled pretty much identical to some of the other black opiums, and I was really, really unimpressed and kind of just forgot about the perfume. But then when I got it again, especially since I ended up getting the Le Parfum version, which I really fell in love with, and so that kind of immersed me deeper into the black opium line, even though I really hate the OG. The DNA started to kind of grow on me, and then when I got this fragrance, I was actually just blown away by how beautiful it smells. Like, this has an amazing tart black cherry note to it. It's not the kind of like boozy black cherry that you would find in Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, so it doesn't feel super overdone or basic to me. The cherry is really just done so beautifully. It does have a little bit of tanginess to it. It's like a really juicy red cherry that also has like some chocolatey elements to it that is blended so beautifully into that black opium Le Parfum DNA. In the dry down, this smells pretty much identical to the Le Parfum, which I already love, but I like this fragrance even more because it opens up with this like mouth-watering cherry scent. It's really sophisticated. It's seriously giving me like dark chocolate covered cherries. And I really didn't think that the combination of cherry and black opium would be something that I would enjoy, but this is just such a well done fragrance. I don't find it to be sickeningly sweet, but I do think it's a very delicious and gourmand heavy fragrance. Just so pretty. I love this fragrance. And our last honorable mention is gonna be Kayali's Yum Bougie Marshmallow. So when I made my initial review on this fragrance, I was actually very harsh on the performance. And so now that I've owned this fragrance for several months and the juice has had time to sit and mature, I actually am having a much, much better experience with the performance. It's still not a super strong projecting fragrance. It doesn't last me like all day. However, before I could only smell it on my skin for like maybe 2 hours max. And these days I'm getting upwards of like 6 to 7 hours, albeit it doesn't really project too much after the first couple hours, but it really has been lasting on my skin and my clothing. Yeah, I think I was definitely too quick to judge the performance. I think the lasting power is actually pretty moderate, and I'm pretty satisfied with how this perfume wears throughout the day. But besides that, if we're talking scent wise, I like actually so many times went back and forth between putting this in my top 5 because of how amazingly delicious this fragrance is. It is a strawberry marshmallow kind of perfume. It's just divine, like very much giving like strawberry milk, strawberry milkshake. I just love that genre of gourmand, and it doesn't smell at all like cheap, or I feel like this kind of a scent is very typical to give a body mist kind of vibe, but it does smell elevated. Like I'm almost getting kind of like a Fruity Pebbles with milk kind of vibe. It's so gourmand, but this fragrance is also beautifully powdery, and it just doesn't come off as like super juvenile or cheap to me, despite how almost food-like it smells. Okay, so now that we have the honorable mentions out of the way, let's get into the actual list. So at the number 5 spot, we have Dolce & Gabbana, The Only One Intense. This is a fragrance that I believe has been in my top 5 every single year that I've made the video now. It is one of the oldest fragrances in my collection, but it is one that I will literally never stop talking about because of how incredible this fragrance is. It is so deeply intoxicating, and I feel like it has such a crowd-pleasing, sweet, vanilla, white floral kind of scent. It really is the kind of perfume that will elicit a reaction, and like when people smell this is the kind of fragrance that they'll be like, oh my god, like you smell so good, because it just has that kind of wow factor to it. Like it smells so good. This has probably like the most beautiful coconut note that I have seen in a fragrance. It is beautifully creamy and milky, but it's also just blended in so beautifully with the vanilla and white florals, and it has such like a nectarous, is that a word? Nectarous quality to it. It's so beautiful. I actually feel so blessed to have like randomly blind bought this from a Nordstrom in Hawaii, because it is just one of my favorite fragrances of all time, truly, because it has been in my top 5 every year, and it's such a special fragrance to me. It smells so amazing, and I really would recommend it to anyone who likes a sweet, sophisticated, kind of seductive white floral vanilla fragrance with like hints of green apple in the opening, which is also something that I absolutely adore about the fragrance. Literally gives it like a caramel apple pop kind of vibe. It smells so divine. My number 4 favorite fragrance at the moment is gonna be Fleur's Heavy Cream. For a fragrance mist and not an eau de parfum to make it into my top 5 is actually, it really speaks volumes. Like, this scent like truly blew me away, and it is such a deliciously done gourmand fragrance. It's such a beautiful whipped cream scent. It's fluffy, delicious vanilla, marshmallowy. It for sure is just like a total gourmand fragrance, but it also has a note of lemon sugar in the top, which gives it a very like unique kind of brightness. Like, it's not just like your typical cupcakey vanilla that you honestly, so many gourmand fragrances nowadays kind of have that DNA in it, just a very basic vanilla extract, cupcake vanilla kind of sweet smell. There's something in this that just like really makes it stand apart. It opens like with this super incredible bright fluffy opening, and that's another thing, is that it is such a fluffy smelling fragrance. It truly smells like whipped cream and is lactonic in a way that I haven't really smelled from any other fragrance before. It's just so beautiful. And not only that, but it has just amazing lasting power, which I don't know how. It's a super affordable fragrance mist and it's incredibly gourmand, but it really lasts all day on my skin, and I just cannot get enough of this fragrance. I don't know how Fleur did it. I honestly am not really a huge fan of their other fragrances, but I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park with Heavy Cream. This is such a gem. In the number 3 spot, we have Zadig & Voltaire's This Is Her. This was previously my second favorite fragrance. I would say the only reason why I went down a spot is because there is another perfume that I think I have been wearing more recently and just have fallen so deeply in love with. But yeah, I mean, I think the dent kind of speaks for itself. I've only had this fragrance for a little over a year, and I've used so much of it because it is an incredibly versatile and just, it's such a clean, simple, and easy to love scent, yet there's something about this that is just hypnotic to me. Like, the silkwood blossom is so clean and silky and comforting, but it also has a milk note which gives it this very clean kind of lactonic vibe to it. And then of course you have this beautiful vanilla note, as well as a really, really beautifully done sandalwood. This fragrance is relatively controversial. I don't know, some people find it to be cloying, which I genuinely don't understand how, because it's, to me, this is such a soft and comforting kind of scent. But I don't know, I guess like milk perfumes can be very polarizing to some noses, and so I guess that is kind of understandable. But to me, this is literally such a beautiful fragrance. I remember when I received it in the mail for the first time and I was opening the box, before I even took the perfume out, I already got whiffs of the fragrance, and literally that second I was like, okay, like I feel like this is gonna end up being one of my favorite fragrances because it already smells so incredible. Also, the bottle is so cute. Like, are you kidding me? I don't know. I just love this kind of white minimalistic aesthetic, and it's just so cool. My runner-up for my favorite fragrance at the moment, we have Kayali's Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar. Oh my god, the hold that this fragrance has on me is actually insane. I am so freaking obsessed with this perfume. There is something about this scent that just like every time I smell it, without fail, it just makes me like like, it smells so freaking good. And yes, this is very much like a super sweet, like toothache sweet kind of perfume, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna take that and be like, oh, if that's your favorite perfume, then like you must have such like juvenile taste and like you only like sweet, girly, immature kind of perfumes. And to that I say, shut the fuck up, like leave me alone. Like, let me enjoy this fragrance in peace. It is so beautiful, and even though it is one of the sweetest fragrances I've ever smelled, at least on my skin and in my experience, it doesn't wear like a suffocatingly sweet kind of perfume. Like, it doesn't come off as cloying, it doesn't turn sour on my skin. It's not an overpowering kind of sweet. I think that this perfume is so well done. It has kind of like a woodiness to it and like a bright, watery freshness to it that I think helps to really ground the sweetness. It also smells a lot like La Belle, especially in the dry down. My absolute favorite part of this fragrance is definitely just that bright opening where you get this jaw-droppingly delicious whiff of gummy bears and jelly beans, and I don't know, again, that it all sounds like a very childish and candy sweet kind of scent, and I guess to some extent it is, but like this makes me feel like I'm in some kind of like candy store. but like a very expensive high-end candy store. Like it smells so beautiful and just kind of like mouth-watering. As it wears, it becomes more mature and sophisticated and has just a very elevated kind of sweetness to it. This fragrance also performs so well. Like actually, this is an all-day fragrance for me. I will put this on in the morning and go to work and then have class after and like commute home, and then many hours later, like as I'm ready to take my daily nap, like I can still smell it on my wrist. It is such an incredibly well-performing fragrance. I love Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar. I think it's such an amazingly done fragrance. And my number one favorite fragrance of all time, I think for a third year in a row now, Givenchy Amarige. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. It's Mod Vanilla. I don't care what people say. I don't care how mainstream this fragrance becomes. I have literally loved this fragrance since day one, and I loved it and raved about it before it even got like super hyped up. So not to be like super original, but I love this perfume. I don't even think I have to say too much about it because I've already talked about it so much in the past, but this is the epitome of what I'm looking for in a perfume. It's beautiful, it's sweet, it's gourmand, it's complex. Mod Vanilla is seriously like, it just checks all my boxes. I don't know. It is such a deliciously gourmand fragrance without being like straight up food smelling. I don't know. Maybe not everyone agrees, but this scent is so incredibly sophisticated to me. Like I think that the notes that really make it stand out to me are the musk as well as the plum. I think the focus is mostly and understandably on the vanilla of the fragrance, but I think that there are so many other facets and notes that just make this perfume so special, and I've really smelled nothing like it before. It's a beautiful, warm, musky vanilla that really has this like bright, ethereal quality to it. As it wears, it really transforms. It becomes even sweeter and more warm, and also like look how dark my juice has become from maceration. I feel like there's a difference between maceration and maturation, and so I feel like the actual fragrance experts are going to be like, oh, like that process isn't actually called maceration. But anyways, yeah, this perfume literally lasts me all day. I've never had an issue with the performance. Really is just such an amazing scent, and truly from the bottom of my heart, I love it, and there's a reason why it's been my top one, literally my number one favorite fragrance for the third year in a row. And that's Mod Vanilla by Ariana Grande. So yeah, that is gonna conclude my list of my top 5 fragrances of all time 2025 edition. Am I gonna have a different list next year? Probably, but at the moment, these are just my absolute favorites. All of these fragrances I love to death. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Definitely let me know your favorite fragrance in the comments, and I will do my best to check them out if I haven't yet smelled them. But as always, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very soon.